Coffee in here, please.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy?
Why?
You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Now it's time for coffee with me. I have coffee with me every day. And it's damn good coffee. This is the strongest coffee I've ever drank. And there's a strong likelihood that I'm going to have to move my bowels pretty quickly. I might do it right here. No, I will definitely play a commercial. Good morning. Good morning, America. Good morning, world. Good morning, Australia. I know you're listening. I know you are because you told me you were. You obviously are not happy with me, Australia, or at least about 5 or 6 people in Australia. I don't know what I said to piss off Australia, but apparently I've said some anti-Australian things recently, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway, good morning, folks. It is a new month, the first day of February 2024. It is a Thursday. You know, I love Thursdays without any rationale behind that whatsoever. I just love Thursdays. We had 9 days of gray, gloomy crap to end January here, but we have a little bit of ray of sunshine today. Today is the first day of Black History Month, and to celebrate, G.D. Fenderson will be working for slave wages the entire month. So that's a good thing. Also, tomorrow we'll have another black guy on the show. So it'll be like on Groundhog Day, me and Willie can both like think we're seeing our shadow. That will be cool for Black History Month. Also, in honor of Black History Month, I'm wearing this sweater, which is real cotton, picked by Tim Scott's grandfather, while my grandfather was banging his mother and getting her pregnant and making a buck work for a buck. Well, not even for a buck, but earn a buck for the master. And also, we probably should have GD get me some Aunt Jemima pancakes here while I sing oh mammy, or something. It's Black History Month. You know, the history of Black History Month came about in 1915, a full half century. You could look at it either way, I suppose. Half full, the century is half full, or the century is half empty. After slavery had ended, it was National Negro Week. But you know, like those people, you give them a week, they want a month. They're just never happy. So it is what it is. But how do you celebrate Black History Month? By probably a bunch of really terrible racist jokes about Black history. That's what we do. Today we have 2 comedians scheduled. One is Jeremy Brown, who's not quite black; he's just brown. But he's actually white, but he's called brown. It's a very confusing thing. He's from Ohio, but lives in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I'm not sure if I got the times mixed up because I thought he was supposed to be early. And our second guest, the great Dave Attell, is already here in the green room. I see him there now. Dave actually has gotten a part in a movie called Cain and Abel. It's kind of a Joel Cohen movie, Coen Brothers movie, where Ron and or Dave is playing a guy named Ron Kane. So I think he's going to be in character the whole time, using the name Ron Kane. For some reason, I don't really understand the whole motivation there, but we are proud to have the one of the best comics in the world working now. Dave Attell is going to be with us today, so that should be really interesting. Right now, let's say hello to the aforementioned what's his name? GD Henderson. I'm sorry, lack of respect there. And
Y'all the boss. I forgot your coffee for you. I forgot to fill the cup though, because Lord knows I don't know how to turn on the percolator. Oh Lord have mercy. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about brewing no coffee, boss.
Well, I'll be damn whippersnapper.
How to turn on the percolator? Oh my God!
I like my coffee black in honor of Black History Month. I am definitely. What is wrong with that? That's not racist. Everything else I said was racist. But listen,
no, it sounds perfectly fine to me, boss.
You can't do that for a whole month. There's no way you can keep that up for a whole month.
Shit.
Oh, I'm very good. I'm very good. We should make him try.
I can't. Don't. Thing is, I got so many of those voices in my head. I can switch up too, but I can. Don't have nothing. Yeah, I can get you kicked off the air. I can go. I can get you kicked off of TikTok and Instagram.
Now, speaking of you all look the same and TikTok. Yesterday, the CEO from TikTok was in front of the Senate, and Tom Cotton, speaking of cotton picking Cotton, kept calling him part of the Chinese communist. He kept saying, "Senator, I'm Singaporean." He said he had to say it 10 times. Like, I'm from Singapore. Why you keep bringing up China? I don't know anything about. I understand we all look alike to you, but I'm Singaporean. And I don't think Tom Cotton understood what that means, Singaporean. Well, I'm from Singapore.
Well,
maybe
it means that he sings while he pours his drinks. He's
I'm a Singaporean.
Yeah. Well, he's singing for his food because he's so poor.
Right. Well,
that's Singapore.
He's a CEO. He's a CEO of TikTok. He ain't singing for nothing. He's laughing all the way to the bank. Is what he's doing.
You really think CEOs get paid that much money?
Yeah, get a buck or two. Yes.
Because I thought CEO was like just below intern.
It is. It's just below a hot intern.
Or maybe the interns are below the CEOs.
No, he's below a hot intern. Below.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's why when you get an internship, it comes with knee pads. That's right.
So. Yeah, you know what? It is what it is. I don't know. The whole they're trying to blame social media for corrupting our kids. Like and it's people who want to hold parents responsible and give parents more say over their kids' education. But they're quick to blame social media for the kids fucking up. You know what? Where are the parents in all of this? You know what? You do have. As a parent, you do have some control over your little. We'll call them slaves in honor of Black History Month. Well, you got your children, slaves, whatever.
Listen, my dad totally believed that children were slave labor. That's why he married my mother, because she was a divorcee with 2 kids. That's a pre-existing workforce.
Wow,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. But yeah, and you know what? Yeah, that was kind of the idea behind having big families back in the day. It was you got a little workforce there who will work for nothing, bring money into that.
Help you out,
Now, it's just weird that yesterday, I'm switching gears here. Yesterday, I posted a reel, and the reel was titled "The Surprising Truth About Anal Sex," and it got 0 clicks, and I'm baffled by that. Like, I can some of the titles I've had are far less provocative than that have gotten thousands of clicks on the first day. The Surprising Truth About Anal Sex has gotten 0, in one
I
day.
think because the title doesn't ring true to anybody. I mean, there is no more hidden truth about, there is nothing surprising, about anal sex anymore because everybody talks about it.
No,
So yeah.
well, you don't know that until you click on it, and then it might say, actually, anal sex makes your dick taste like cherry pie. That you
I
don't
think that's
know
the
that
same.
until you click.
Well, the thing is, if you watch the Zsa Zsa Gabor video with Johnny Carson, he actually says that right after. That is like the next line after "Move the Cat." I will. That's his next line.
That never
Have
happened.
anybody seen?
Move the cat, and I will put it in
We
your
can we
butt.
can
Is that what he said?
we can agree to disagree.
We can disagree to agree too. You want to start with me? We have two guests here at once, but you know what? One of them is kind of a regular. So, but he's one of the world's greatest comedians. Let's bring him in before we bring in our scheduled guest. This is the fabulous Dave Attell. Dave, welcome.
Woo!
Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you for having me.
You want to tell us about this Coen Brothers movie you're in, Cain and Abel, and that's what your whole little thing there, Ron Cain comedy, is about. You're playing a character named Ron Cain in this film.
Of course, and it's always, full frontal nudity with me. I have that in my contract. Anytime I'm on screen, it's required that at least 2 minutes be full frontal male nudity.
Oh, very cool.
You and Jackie Martling, huh? All right.
Now, how do you celebrate Black History Month? Drinking black coffee, is that how you do it?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I like to put on a little, put on some black makeup and feel pretty good about things. Like my podcast. Yeah, like my podcast partner says, though. He says I'm not white because I'm Italian, so he doesn't look at me as a white guy.
Oh my God.
You're Italian.
I'm not really white, but I don't say it because I'm not Italian, although I am half Italian. I'm just not really white. I'm like greenish, like, I don't know, reddish
Olive.
green. Yeah, that kind of.
Olive. Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Olive.
I don't like olive because I think of olive oil with Popeye, and she was just like,
blow me down.
Hey, slow down.
One of my musician friends back in high school, his
hey, Crackly Boy, Boy, your wire.
Yeah. I don't hear
call
that.
him Cracker. Call him fucking Cracker. Don't fucking hold back.
Now, what is it?
Cracker.
That's better. We can hear you now.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cracklin' Rosie.
His last name was Mahabal. He was half Italian and half Indian, as in the island of India. So
India's not an island, bro.
It is. It's not. I just don't know it.
Why did you even give him that? You should have just let it slide. Don't even give him that India's not an island thing. Actually, where I grew up, we have Indian Island. So yes, it is Indian Island. All right. Right. We have another comedian with us. This is a fivesome. So this is gonna be a little fun. Let me see if I
don't like a poker hand.
Yeah, do I have a 5 camera? Yeah, I do have a 5 camera thing. Let's see. We got 3 out of 4. Now, our next guest is not quite black for Black History Month. He's Brown, Jeremy Brown, who is from Ohio and moved to San Antonio, Texas. And you have to think, why go from Ohio to San Antonio, Texas? And the only thing I could think is there wasn't enough cow shit smell in Ohio, so you went to San Antonio, Texas. Good morning, Jeremy Brown.
This is a poker hand. Blacks are wild.
Yes.
Morning, everybody.
How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on. It was quite the wake up call to learn the surprising truth about anal sex to start the day. So thank you for that.
No, I was pretty shocked to hear it myself. Now, the AI stuff really does not. It is very misleading because it's like a tease. It's basically just me asking that question. It's a half a minute clip that AI took out of a show where the woman doesn't really even get to answer the question. What the question was, The youth of today are really obsessed with eating ass, and I wanted to know if that was a new thing or if it was just always around and people just haven't talked about it until now. Now they feel open to talk about it, and that was it. She doesn't get to answer the question. I just asked the question, and that's the clip you get for the surprising.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's do this. How about this? Oh, now Jeremy Brown is the star of the program.
The feature,
So yes, tell San Antonio how long you been there?
About 12 years.
About 12 years.
Yeah.
Now, did you go there for a comedy? You went there for just a change of life? What?
It was work. I was actually I was a high school English teacher in Ohio, and then they decided that was no longer.
So you're unemployed.
Yeah,
I've heard them talk in Ohio. Nobody's learned English, so go ahead.
No, I mean they did for 3 years when I started teaching, and then they stopped. But yeah, I there were not a lot of job openings, so I started looking around, and then actually got connected with a tech firm in San Antonio. So I moved across the country and live here now.
So now you're not teaching. You're not teaching English.
I'm not. I don't want to be a meat shield. So I'd prefer to stay out of the schools now if I can.
GD, just in honor for the rest of this month, we got 29 days. When you like to speak, just put a massive may I, okay?
Bro,
you got it, boss.
Bro,
oh, you got it, boss.
Come on.
Okay.
God damn, bro.
I'm going to be as racist as I possibly can for the next 29 days, and then I'll try.
I've seen you be more racist.
I'm working on it. I'm just getting.
He's just warming up. Yeah,
I'm just warming up, man. We're only 15 minutes in. Jeremy, what's going on in Texas? Are you prepared to secede?
I'm not, but I'm also not prepared to stop it. I don't know if you guys can tell from my facial features. I'm not helping anybody in a war. Or anything.
Right.
Listen, we need strategists.
And we also
can
need
help
people
manage the troops.
Yeah.
Well, we also need people when they attack and say, "I'm gonna blow your ass off, boy," and you would say, "Excuse me, I believe you used that term correctly. I believe the way you mean this."
I can tweet about it from the sidelines. Let everybody know what's going on.
But if we can be like not really that serious, but do you see just that's a tint of seriousness? Do you see any real like uprising that is visible, or is it just talk? Like because not being there, you don't know what's really going on. Is there?
Greg Abbott won't be uprising anything because he can't. But I don't really see anything actually happening. I mean, there's a ton of nice people with 57 guns somewhere in their house that are just great people to talk to, and then a bunch of intelligent people too. So it's a really good collective mix of people down here. Nothing's actually going to happen.
Oh.
So Jeremy, I'm sorry, Master Mayor.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jeremy, excuse me, boss. Can you, but since you done in the Texan land, could you by chance get a job teaching Texan as a second language, boss?
Yeah.
So I don't.
That's a great question.
I wouldn't be the one to teach Texan, but they do teach Texas history here, which is, interesting because there's, a whole country and then world out there. So no, I don't think they teach Texan, but Texas history is an actual class down here.
Well, why? Yeah,
because I've seen the books. The books that they got they renamed the slavery as the Atlantic Triangle Trade, and they created the job opportunities. Thanks for the slavery. You gave us a free trip. Packed on a cargo ship. You beat us down to the ground until our souls are stripped. We thank you so much.
Ain't no way you're keeping that up for 29 days.
I just break in the song sometimes. I'm just so happy down in my soul.
Oh my God.
I
guess.
All right. I can keep it up for 29 days. I don't know if my cat, my dog, my wife, I don't know if anybody else want me to. They'd be like, come here and smack that.
It'd be funny to see your wife come in and start beating the shit out of you. Stop that.
My God, dude, that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Since she's a white woman, it would just look like she's beating a slave.
Now, a real question for Jeremy. You've worked with a lot of prominent comedians. Have you ever worked with Dave Attell before?
I have not. It's great to meet him though.
Say hello, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
What, Dave? There's something wrong with your voice. You don't sound quite like so grumbly, Long Island.
Yeah, because I stopped smoking. That's why.
But you know, are you on the road like consistently, or are you working to Texas? I'm surprised to know that San Antonio even has a comedy scene. To be honest with you, I mean, I could see Austin and Dallas, but are you on the road, or are you working locally?
I'm going to be headlining the LOL in San Antonio on Sunday,
Nice.
which I'm excited about. But generally, I'm in the area. I've done some road trips, but usually in Texas, which is still half of the country.
Huge.
So still a pretty good amount of places to perform here.
Yeah, it's huge. Now LOLs, we have one in like probably, I don't know exactly the number, but they're in lots of different cities. If you get in with one, are you in with all of them? Like, can you? Does that establish you as an LOL club favorite?
So, I mean, I can put it on my resume, and I can tell the podcasts I go on. So, LOL, like this one is actually just local. The LOL was owned by folks in San Antonio, but it's now part of the Improv. So I am hoping that if this show goes well, they will pass that information along. We've got another Improv in Texas and then throughout the country. So that's kind of the hope.
All right. Dave, weren't you down in San Antonio recently? Last time we talked to you, were down there, no? In San Antonio?
Yeah,
was it the LOL?
Yeah, not there. I was just down there this summer with another comedian, and he was playing Upstage Comedy Lounge in San Antonio. But yeah, when I was out there, I didn't really notice much of a scene in San Antonio. I didn't spend a lot. I was really only down there for one night, though. Essentially.
Right. Well, I hear there were lots of yucks going on in the Alamo in 1848. But I don't know who was actually the headliner of that. Was it Davy Crockett or was it Jim Bowie? Have you been? Have you? You know what? The Alamo is do they have like shows at the Alamo? That's a dumb question.
I thought they rented cars there. Don't they rent cars at the Alamo, boss? So, Master
Mayor across the street from there.
I don't know. Jeremy,
there's definitely stuff going on outside the Alamo, but I mean it's essentially just a tourist trap.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had like stand-up comedy or like cover bands playing in the Alamo.
I mean, you could only get like 15 people in, so I don't think you're getting
really
much
small
in there. Oh yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, but
I saw the documentary. I saw the documentary with the Paul Rubens, and they were looking for the basement in the Alamo.
You're not going to be able to keep that crap up. You might as well give it up now. Willie has something to say. Let's let delayed Willie.
Isn't there a large venue like right across the street from the Alamo? I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, we've got the Techport Center, Alamo Dome. Like, there's a few good-sized venues here.
Yeah, and the Alamo, of course, is used as a bathroom, an overflow bathroom for all of those events. Usually.
Now, when I was talking about 45 years ago, people could spot me a mile away. You're not a Texan. That's right. You're not from Texas. And it was not like very friendly to people who weren't native Texans. You are not so. You don't really stand out that much with an Ohio accent. I don't even think Ohio has an accent. They kind of rent one from Indiana or something. But did you face any backlash? Like you're a Yankee when you came down there?
I mean, it's people as soon as I say Ohio, they just assume everything north of Texas is Canada. So there's a little bit of that, but I mean, nobody really cares unless you're from California. If you're from California, you're 100% getting backlash. But for the most part, people have been really, really great down here. and barbecue is fantastic, and that's something everybody can bond over.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, barbecue, pig, pork. I don't know if everybody can bond over that. There's a certain group.
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't think you can bond over barbecue because you got your Texas barbecue, but then again, even like the North Carolinas and the South Carolinas, they get like a fighting because they don't even agree on the barbecue. So I don't know. The Texas can. I don't. Just doesn't seem right. Sounds to
They're
me
not
like you
here,
yanking
though.
my chain.
Everybody, if you're not here, you're not bothering anybody. Like, I love going around the country and getting to try different places, but when you're in Texas, it's Texas barbecue, and it's God's gift to humans.
Wow. Now you are you a long form comedian in this sport as opposed to like a quick joke teller?
Yeah, I'm more of a storyteller as opposed to just rapid fire one-liners. That's never been my style, probably because I can't remember that much. Telling stories is just easier. You can just remember bullet points and fill in the blanks. But if you're doing, 300 one-liners in a 45-minute set,
So you
I
don't
know
have
about that
any
life.
kids involved. No, if you are filling the blanks, you ain't got no kids. That's what you telling, or you started the blanks after you had the kids you want to have.
Yeah, no kids. I'm still happy in life.
If
I
you
got
just
frost goblins bringing me down.
If you're just tuning in, we are establishing something on mybookie.com this morning, taking bets on how long GD can keep up the Black History tribute
Hey,
here.
a quick aside. You're going to be interested to know this. There is actually a legitimate betting line on whether or not Travis Kelce will propose to Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. That is an actual thing that you can bet on. Just so you know.
And what are the odds?
I'm not sure what the odds are. I could look it up. You know what?
Is that in Vegas or is that like online betting places or what?
I think it's probably both Vegas and online betting, but I'll check it out real quick. But I heard it yesterday. I was very surprised.
Jeremy, do you get it?
I don't know if you can put it in with like scoring parlays or anything like that. I don't think you can do that. I think it's its own thing.
You know what? I'm going to come back to this and see. That's better. We're all equal now. We're all equal. Now, Jeremy,
no, this is February. We cannot be saying that. We cannot be saying that. It's February. Fine. I don't think we should be saying that we're all equal. Black people are way, way better than us, at least during the month of February. So, all right.
I don't know about that. I feel a little superior, and I'm not white. I feel olive superiority. I'm an olive supremacist. Olive supremacist. Where was I going? Jeremy or Dave, the great David Tell is with us, and I don't want to ignore the great David Tell, who is now in a Coen Brothers movie called Cain and Abel. He's playing a character named Ron Cain in Cain and Abel, and that's why it says Ron Cain comedy in there. The Taylor Swift outrage. You guys, does it make any sense to you? I don't know if you're even following how conservative media is blowing up over this thing, like she's a psyop by the deep state. This whole relationship with her and Football Boy. You got any observations on that? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, to me, that's just BS. Let's just say, hey, we have nothing else to offer, and it's funny to me that they're afraid of Taylor Swift. It's funny that they're afraid of her because when she comes into a city, she changes the economy. She's that much of a force, and I think they're just afraid of her. Because she's got that army of Swifties. They'll practically, they'll follow her to the end. And that's what they're worried about, that she's just going to come out and be like, hey, I'm voting for this. Are you? And they're going to be like, ah. But
Yeah,
to me, it's just hilarious that they're so afraid of her.
I'd be surprised that. I mean, I know she's registering to people to vote, but I'd be surprised if that a lot of them even know how to read like a voting card or anything. So I'd be surprised if they're actually going to vote. But yeah, that's definitely. So, Jeremy, any thoughts on the whole Swift mania?
So she's dating a Chief, and they're in the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it's a huge shock that the best team in football over the last 5 years is in a Super Bowl. I never could have seen that coming. If she was dating Adam Thielen from the Panthers and they made the Super Bowl, I might feel like something's going on.
Right.
But I mean, I just think it's funny that Taylor Swift fans have been watching football for 5 months and their team is going to a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys haven't been to an NFC championship this century. So they're just thinking, oh yeah, football's fantastic. You just watch for a few months and then you play for a championship. And that's all it is. This is great.
Yeah, it would be great if she could date a Jet. That would be good. I mean,
give her time, boss. Give her time, boss. She's making the rounds. And then she'll write a song. But first, she can't break up with Kelsey until she gets a song. And then once she gets a good song out of him, then she can just kick his ass to the curb like a good Negro. And then
the funny thing that I'm just ignoring that accent. And you have to drop that. I know I started this, but I think
yeah, you did, boss.
I've regretted it for 15 minutes already.
I know. I knew you would. I knew you would, boss. I knew nobody can take this for a whole fucking month. That's why Stephen Fetch so fucking famous. He did it for like a whole career.
Good point. I did see the NFC's ratings for the NFC championship game or AFC championship game, whatever it was the highest ever for a playoff game, not the Super Bowl last week. So you know what? She's got some drawing power. Now I'm thinking it's a lot of these Swifties who don't even really care about football. They're just waiting for a shot of Taylor.
Oh my God.
And I think on top of that, I think the statistic is she, like during that last game, they only showed her like a total of 60 seconds screen time out of a 3.5 hour, advertising event.
Yeah.
And plus, no one is going to date a Jet anyway. I mean, what are you going to do?
True.
Date Aaron Rodgers and did I cheat or didn't I cheat? I don't know.
Geno Smith ruined it for everyone. Fucking butt fumble himself. Anyway, so according to the New York Post, FanDuel is offering odds at Kelsey proposing plus 190 for yes, negative 250 for no is the line on FanDuel if you want to bet on whether or not Travis Kelce pops the question. According to
is there a line on whether or not I give a fuck? Is there a give a fuck line? Because I'm 100% not gives a fuck.
I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. But I'm not sleeping out in the bunkers tonight. I'm in the main house.
I just had a fox run across my yard like a runaway slave. I thought I was late for something.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because you know what, she's good looking. She's not my cup of tea, but she's an attractive woman. But she's a billionaire. And this guy, even though he's a professional football player, has to feel like very inadequate. I don't know.
He's not feeling.
Yeah.
He's not feeling inadequate. Have you seen him? He's like a Greek god. That guy.
But I mean, financially, it's like I would feel intimidated if a woman could buy and sell the company I work for.
He bought her a $6 million house.
Oh, he did?
He just started dating. I feel like he's doing okay.
Yeah. I didn't know he was that big.
He's not a billionaire, but he's doing just fine. I mean, if she can, it might be intimidating, but if you're putting me on your private jet, I'll get over it pretty quickly.
No, he's gainfully employed. I think her father would approve. That don't get me wrong. It's just from my own personal perspective, a woman who's got that much money would definitely make me. Now, switching gears a little bit here. Christy Brinkley, who's 69 but still hot, she says she can't find a guy to date. She's still hot at 69. She's like 40. She looks like.
I mean,
she's
I'm married, but I'll still volunteer. Holy fuck!
But yeah, part of that is that I think
listen,
hot rich women are
you know what?
intimidated.
Maybe she needs a couple. Maybe she needs a couple. Babe, you want to go move in with Christy Brinkley? That sounds good to us.
You know what? Maybe what she's saying in that is people who aren't white trash are hard to find.
Listen, I may be white trash, but we are high class white trash, okay?
Right.
He is a lord. He's a lord, and she is a lady.
Yeah. Don't forget.
Right.
Jeez.
All right, switching gears, back to comedy here.
I was just going to say, I just think no one wants to follow Billy Joel, because why do you want to be an Eskimo brother with Billy Joel?
I think she's had a couple of husbands after she dumped Billy Joel. I don't know.
Still there,
Eskimo brothers. I didn't know that term until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Now, Billy Joel beat the anal sex reel. I did a Billy Joel reel last night, and it beat the anal sex within 5 minutes by
because he had that song Backdoor Girl. Yeah, I remember that song. I remember that song.
Yeah. I tried to do like I don't know why, because I was there for the Jackie thing. Jackie Martling had a you guys know, a screening of his movie and a Q&A, and I was there to cover it, and they insisted I take a tour of the Billy Joel exhibit. So I had my phone and I taped a bunch of shit, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with all this crap on my phone? So I put together a reel talking about the exhibit at the Long Island Music Hall of Fame about Billy Joel. And I thought it would get a lot of views, but it's only beating the anal sex thing by, I don't know, like by 100 views, which is surprising to me. I mean, I don't know why that is. Because I think if you put a celebrity's name in, which is why I have today's guests are the sensation. Here's the thing: you got to put in a really juicy adjective in it. So I have the sensational Jeremy Brown and not Dave Attell in the in the comedian in the title of this program. And I think I'm being told that YouTube will send more traffic with those kind of titles in it. So so I would have thought Billy Joel would have gotten some attention. I mean, I know he's past his way past his prime, but it's still a celebrity name that people recognize.
Don't feel bad. I wrote a Bryan Adams joke last year. I don't know why I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about
on purpose, or was that a challenge?
It came to me. I was in a grocery store, and of course they were playing some Bryan Adams over the intercom or whatever, and it just occurred to me, what does Bryan Adams say if you say to him, "Hey man, I think this song needs more lyrics"? Na 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 na.
Oh wow, that's the best you got, huh?
Hey, listen. If you don't like that joke, I want you to know it cuts me like a knife.
I know. I knew that part was coming out.
Yeah, but the people that laugh at it, it's like heaven to me. Really,
yeah.
It is.
Wow, you're gonna keep
all
going.
Both of them.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, everything I do it for you. I thought you knew that.
Wow.
Already.
This is like
you don't like these jokes? Fine. All right. Please forgive me. All
right. Yeah, I don't even know where to go from there.
The 8 people that understand your references globally loved that.
Right. You know who would?
I know, right? Right. Thank you.
You know who would be pissed off by that and really want to fight you? Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams?
Yeah, is a Canadian singer-songwriter guy, and he has people in the crowd have requested Bryan Adams songs, and he is he basically called them out and wanted to fight them, take them outside and fight them over it. Like, he gets really angry about that. He's really touchy about it.
Wow.
Anyway,
I understand. Just the last week, I was at the clubs, and the guy, I was telling jokes, and the guy requested that I start telling the Ron King jokes. And I was like, but I don't do the Wrong King jokes. First of all, Wrong King does the jokes with the frontal nudity. I can't be doing that in public. I get arrested.
I thought you used to do that in public for a living.
That was dancing. That's not joking. You don't pull this out as a joke. Ain't no joke.
Somebody.
The reason that Ron Kane can get away with telling jokes with full frontal nudity and not GD is dick size. That's the difference, because they can't tell that anything is hanging there.
Wow, you're freezing up there. All right. Now, Jeremy, have you? Yeah, have you ever exposed yourself during a comedy performance?
No, that's not.
No.
Somebody said, I think it was Tom Segura, was talking about a guy taking his dick out and pissing on the audience, like Jim Morrison style. I was like, how do you do that without getting arrested? I mean,
I follow the guy that pulled out a Wizinator.
You do it in Texas, boss. That's how you do it and not get arrested.
Well, during the pandemic, I was like, it's not at first, but like 6 months in, 7 months in to the pandemic or whatever, I started producing this open mic at this room that we had in beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I was running this mic, and it was fabulous. We were just in this room, but it brought out some interesting people, and we had one comic. She showed up the 1 week, and she was wearing just like an overcoat. And we found out she was fully nude underneath it because she got up on stage and dropped it and did a full spin.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the first time.
Now, is that legal because it was a stage performance?
At a mic. Was that
legal because it's stage performance? Like because it depends on, like, the laws are different.
That's a good question.
In different
places. Who knows? No one was questioning legality at that point. It was like, oh, this is happening.
This fucking mic rocks.
Was she funny, boss? Was she funny?
Then
do you remember any of her jokes?
No.
Do you remember any of her tattoos?
Yeah, probably.
Now the question now, Jeremy, do you work blue? Are you a blue comic or?
I not
He's
specifically.
Brown. That's right there in the name. He's brown. What you got? That's a stupid question, boss. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry, boss. Forgive me, boss. Forgive me. Forgive me.
So I mean, I definitely say some swears. But I'm not doing like a Bob Saget every other word kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work a little bit cleaner. I want to try and get into corporate gigs if I can. And also learning more about algorithms and everything where it's a little bit better if you're cleaner because you don't have to bleep and or edit anything. So when I get into riffing, I'll swear a lot more, and I'm trying to control that where I can.
That's like an old Negro spiritual, isn't it? Algorithm. That's isn't it? I just don't know. I can't remember. I got kicked in the head by the mule a few times.
Yeah. 40 acres and a kick.
I got in trouble yesterday for swearing at the tailgate party, but I wasn't just swearing. I took the Lord's name in vain, which is highly frowned upon. Even on this show,
what is the Lord's name? Because nobody else seems to know it. What you call
William?
Him? What's his name?
Lord William. Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This idea of working clean on purpose. It's kind of strange to me. Now I understand, like a couple of people have told Willie to stop saying "fuck" so often, but I know it can be overdone. But I think if you're forcing yourself to work clean, you're probably not being as authentic to your true self if it's not your nature. Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Right, it's how I talk.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I don't. So I swear just in my daily life. Teaching, you're not allowed. So I think I'd started just doing it a lot more outside of work. So it's found its way into my everyday vocabulary. But I don't look at it as like I'm forcing myself to be a different person. I'm trying to be more accessible. I'm not really changing my jokes. I'm just like if it's an unnecessary word, there are some of my jokes where I use the F word as part of the punchline. It hits significantly harder than when I don't use it. I know I've got some jokes like that, but when I'm just talking about things or when I'm going off into crowd work, stuff like that, I don't have to swear. It just kind of comes out. And that's what I'm trying to control. But I'm never just going to be completely change who I am just to try and do a company's Christmas party.
Okay, boss, I have a question then. Being a English teacher, what do you find to be the most misused cuss word? You know, people be like using them cuss words the wrong way. They used to piss my mother off. My mother couldn't take it like that. She said she corrected us. If we called somebody a queer and they were like a faggot, she'd be like, "No, boy, don't you do it like that." So
he really is trying to get us canceled here today, without a doubt. But we're just going to edit that out, so YouTube won't even, or any of the platforms won't even know he was even here today. So you can disregard that question.
You're gonna just erase me like my history. Lord have mercy, I'm a duck. I got Lord have mercy, you worse than Texas. Oh God,
I'm really glad I picked February 1st to come on the show. That was just a brilliant decision by me.
Another great career move. Yeah.
Well, you probably, if you watch the show, you probably figured that he would be fired by now because most people, yeah, but this whole idea, because I have friends who work in drive-by comedy. They go out to Mormon land in Utah, but they are still doing the same material, and it still does hit, but they are substituting words for where they would normally use profanity. It still works though, and they still can talk about adult situations, like, and so so if you can do that and still remain true to your brand, I guess but it seemed to me like you got to be always on your game then, because I have had, this is why I'm not on terrestrial radio right now. I have had the occasion to just slip up by accident every once in a while. So
yeah, I just look at it as like people that get the opportunity to perform on like the Grammys or TV or something like that, where there's some words in this song I can't say on TV, but they're not going to turn down the opportunity to perform on the Grammys because it's huge for them. You've got people that go on America's Got Talent and they have now access to millions of people they otherwise wouldn't. And then those people come and see them at a show and go, oh my God, this is what I never saw that on America's Got Talent. What is this? Because they knew this is a huge platform. I'll edit some words or change some punchlines a little bit, but I know I'm still funny. And then these people will come out. Some of them won't be huge fans, but I've got a lot of new fans now. So I just look, I'm not taking the soul out of my comedy or anything like that. It's just making it more accessible.
Right. Well, David Tell, before he adopted this new persona that he's trying out there in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, wherever, this Ron Kane thing that he's trying. Before that, he was extremely dirty. I mean, it was just about like really sexual, over the top sexual stuff. Dave, are you still doing that, or is this Ron Kane character, have you cleaned up your act a little bit?
Well, my stuff is pretty much like it's dark and absurd. I actually try to avoid swearing because I mean sometimes it's necessary, but I mean it can be overused. Like when I'm practicing at a mic, my tongue is definitely lazier because I'm not worried so much about it at that point because I'm either probably just looking for the structure of the joke or just trying to figure out the timing on it. But I try not to swear that much at all unless it's really warranted.
What about sexual stuff though? Because and maybe it's just the comics that I see, but I'm seeing wow, well, we got dark there. Lights just went out for a second. Seeing an awful lot of comedians who, this is why I asked the question, are obsessed with ass eating jokes and like I know there's a certain segment. Listen, I'm probably after 15 minutes of ass eating jokes, I'm checking out. I'm not hanging around for that. But so the sexual stuff, do you do that and still not use the profanity in it?
Yeah, I mean, I have like I have like an interesting bit on ass eating, and
Just the word makes me
and
laugh.
it's not so much about being like pro for it, and but like I'll say ass eating, and but yeah, too, again, like depends if the joke warrants a lot of cussing, but like sexual stuff, it's sometimes it's fun to replace words, and maybe you still need to say that word, but getting to it needs to be maybe a little different instead of just vulgarity for the sake of being vulgar, or just even shocking. And to be shocking is, to me, it's boring.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like the word cunnilingus just seems to roll off the tongue. I understand. Yeah, both got you.
You know what? The YouTube AI doesn't understand that analingus is one word, because originally that was out there, but the AI put it as anal lingus, two different words for some reason.
That's because they think you're somebody that's talking out their ass. Actually, is what they.
And plus, like on Reels, it doesn't really matter so much, because like my feed on Reels, I one reel will be like maybe some lions playing together, then the next reel that comes up for me is a straight up murder, like
Right.
someone being gunned down in the street, because
the algorithm has you figured out what you like.
Yeah, and I have also I have like very nice stuff, and I have some very like really fucked up shit, but to me, that's how the world really is.
I get, yeah. What about you, Jeremy? What's your take on this sexual, but sexual content, adult content, but keeping avoiding the profanity?
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, props to you. I have never really done I was gonna say I've never really done a lot of sexual stuff, and I was like, oh, that's not true.
Why you shooting blanks?
I
Like,
have, but I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like if I see somebody that is just writing out, like, let me just talk about eating ass for 15 minutes and be just as explicit as possible, that's not fun for me.
Yeah.
But I have a joke about it, but I relate it to other things, talk about it in terms of what I heard from students. So there are ways you can go about doing things that are still creative, not just as overt. But at the end of the day, like, what you're talking about. But I've had conversations where they're just like, oh, okay, we're saying making love, or just all of these different ways of saying things where the audience knows what you're doing. But if there's that one angry person in the back of the room, or the guy that's cutting the check at the end of the night that doesn't want you to say exactly what everybody knows you're talking about, it's all good. We're all getting to the same place. You still get paid at the end of the night. But then you go do a different show at a club or something, and you say all the words you're used to. I think I just look at it as, I would like to perform as many places as possible and make as much as I can. And if you can work clean, you're going to get more opportunities to do those things.
Absolutely.
Now, Master Kane, I hear that you're going to Florida. You're touring Florida to buy some more Negro comics. Is that how that working?
Yeah. No.
Wait,
yeah,
you understood that question?
Yeah, somewhat. But I mean, way to like switch gears, but
that's how you know he's black.
Yeah, but like, to Jeremy's before that, I mean, to Jeremy's point, yeah, it's working clean does help you, because I do clean material also. I have like, my clean material is dark, though. I work as a clean dark comic, but at the same time, like clean is not my favorite to do, but I think clean is a very good tool to have in your toolbox as well.
It's difficult to write clean stuff, I think, at least in my opinion, because I have a very dirty mind.
Yeah, and sometimes I really don't. I'm not writing intentionally to be clean, but sometimes things just work out that way, where it's like, oh wait, this actually turned into a clean bit. It might be screwed up a little, and kind of fucked up, but at the same time, it can be clean. And to me,
Right.
I find that almost funnier because the part of the joke for me is saying so, taking the audience on this horrific ride of like jokes and stuff, because I got jokes about my mom's Parkinson's and it's completely dark and really screwed up. And I've learned like the key to doing those jokes is for me not even snicker or anything like that with it. Like
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just
I get
throw
it.
this sledgehammer at the audience and want them to come along, and they have. I've been able to do that, but uh, inside I'm dying laughing because I'm like, how am I going to keep a straight face and keep
Well,
this?
I love Jeselnik's ability to do that, but every once in a while he will just give like a little snicker of a smile, but you never see him.
Yes,
And you got to think he's breaking up inside with some of the stuff he's able to get away with. And I admire the fact that he is able to get away with it, where I'm sure I would get booed off stage doing the same material within like 30 seconds. Like, get out of here. It does take some skill to get dark and keep the audience on your side and getting them. I suppose if you brand yourself that way and they get to expect that from you and they want more of it, they're not going to be as judgmental. But if you just come out there and just one joke in the middle of a sentence, a middle of a set that is not really known for darkness, and you just come out with one like my wheelchair joke or something like that, like the Greg Abbott thing,
well,
that could be
and
a little
I
tricky.
think too the longevity, and that's the same thing as far as the ass eating jokes go. Like the longevity of the ass eating joke should not last longer than ass eating itself. And if you've done ass eating, it's not like a big meal. You're more or less there
It's an
for a
appetizer.
snack.
Okay,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like you're
got
gonna
it.
be there for about you're gonna be there for about 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're doing an ass eating joke that goes longer than 2 or 3 minutes, I'd say that's too long because you're spending more time telling the joke than you do actually eating ass. Why are you
Right,
doing that?
You
That
mean
seems
like what you just did,
inappropriate.
both? Like just there, both? Just
Yeah.
like there?
right
Okay.
there.
No, that was a good 2 minutes. I'm sorry you can't tell time.
Oh man, he's
All right,
angry at you.
who's going to teach me to tell time? If I learn to tell time, I know when to quit picking the cotton.
Yeah.
So what kind of slave owner are you?
Next thing you
Teaching?
want him to learn how to read. We can't have that going on.
Yeah, Lord have mercy, you can't have that.
That's right.
Thank you, boss. And then you be teaching them the number stuff, the
Jeremy,
mathematics.
do you explore dark humor? It seems like you already did once on this show here.
Yeah, do you talk about black people?
No.
About what?
Don't just
People, dark humor.
disregard him. Yeah, we'll just get
got
rid of him right now. Now,
could we go back in time and do that about 42 minutes ago? But yeah, no, I do.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I do some dark jokes as well. I talk about had a Make-A-Wish student. Talk about difficulties of childhood, stuff like that. So yeah, I get into it because laughing at pain is what got me into comedy. So I feel like that is part of who I am. So I definitely talk about that stuff on stage.
right now, when you're headlining on Sunday, how long are you going to do? An hour?
Probably about 50 minutes. So yeah, should be fun.
Are you choosing, and this is a question I always have for people who are headlining, are you choosing your feature and opener, or the club basically picks that for you?
I did. So generally at LOL, headliners are able to pick whoever they want, which is getting to headline. I absolutely love it. As somebody who's not headlining, I wish the club would pick to give me some more opportunities. But I think it makes sense. Like if you've been on TikTok at all recently, there is a story that blew up about an opener and the headliner that did not really like the opener. And I think it was just a very bad pairing. And it seems like the club just like, okay, cool, you're going to go open for the show that there's no way you should ever be on. But for me, yeah, I was able to choose. I think it It'll set things up well. It's comics I respect, so I'll enjoy the show as well, and I think the audience will too. So it's a good way to ensure that, because if you have somebody, like if you get an opener that's the guy who just talks about ass eating for 15 minutes, and then you have a completely clean comic for 25 minutes, and then you've got a headliner that's somewhere in the middle. It's just a weird mix.
Weird, but sometimes it could work. I've seen it where,
It can.
and recently, I've been in a club where there were 3 different comics and very different approaches to comedy. And one guy, if I'm being really fair about this, the very first the opener was not very good, not very impressive. But I think that made the second guy, that made him seem like Superman. There was a time I played at Fort Dix, and it was a benefit show, and there were 17 acts that went on before us, and all 17 got booed. And then I went up there, and because I was basically borderline competent, I was treated like the Beatles at Chase Stadium.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of comics that will purposely get not great openers or features that they know aren't going to push them. I hate that show. Like I would like a show to build, but I don't want to start at 0, stay at 0, then go to step 1, and then try to go to step 5. Like I would like the show to progress and continue to get better and better, and not just say, wow, I don't even remember who the opener was. The feature was okay. I really like the headliner. Like just, you want a show where everybody's pushing the next comic to be better.
Right. Now you mentioned the algorithm, and I think you can become a slave to the algorithm. I know I have. Like once you start seeing engagement and stuff, we try to kind of think of it, that's more important than it is. Like that's a big thing. And now first time you get 1 million views on something or a big number like that, you're like, oh, I gotta do that again. And you spend all your time trying to chase. It's like a heroin addiction kind of. You're chasing that next high. Are you putting a lot of your energy into that?
So that's the perk about not being good at social media, is I work really hard and nobody watches it, so it doesn't matter. I had my first video do any kind of numbers. I'm a Lions fan, and that ended very poorly for me on Sunday night. But learning everything is content, I started recording myself watching games. So I record it, put together clips of me, and then I put one out, and it's up to like 115,000, which for me is absolutely insane that many people would watch me do anything. But I'm like, oh, this is cool. But then I'll post clips of my stand-up that I was like, this is a well-crafted joke, or this was a really great interaction that the crowd loved, and 250 people watch it. So I'm just like, okay. So I know there are comics that I work with that they have a system down, and they're like, I can just do this over and over and over, and every single video will get 1 million views. And so they want to tap into that. I know that social media is important. I avoided it for a long time, but I know at the end of the day, like, comedians are alcohol and food salesmen. You need to get butts in seats for people to want to book you. Like, it doesn't matter how funny you are. If nobody's coming to see you, nobody's going to book you. So I'm trying to get better at social media. I don't think I'm ever going to just spend all day and night thinking about social media or anything like that. I'm trying to get myself out there. If people see it and like it and then want to come see me to show, that'd be amazing. But I don't think I can ever be that guy.
Yeah, the first time I've ever heard a comedian say what musicians say all the time is we're alcohol salesmen, really, at the end of the day. I played a song the other day, a Warren Brothers song, for an old song, and nobody knew it. It's called We Don't Sell a Lot of Records, but we sure sell a lot of beer. And that is the whole point of it. That it's kind of weird to think about that you're not, your art is just a tool to sell alcohol. It really is.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I also don't consider what I do art.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you consider a craft? Because a lot of people think that they're funny, and they might be funny with their friends, but it is a skill.
Yeah.
right? So if it's a skill, it's either art or craft. No.
I mean, yeah, I don't look at it in those terms. Like, yeah, it does take some skill because there are people that, you know, you're great to hang out with, you're super fun to be around, whatever. But if you try and stand in a room of 350 strangers, it's not going to go well.
Right.
So yeah, like there's a little bit of craft in writing jokes, and there's an art to telling it on stage and presence and all that good stuff. I'm this is not an art form for me. This is something like I have a need for strangers to like me. I'm a very boring person, and if I don't have some form of creative outlet, it's super depressing. So I was like, hey, I think this is funny. Let me say it into a microphone. Oh, cool. People agree with that. I'll continue telling this. So I look at it as a creative outlet for me. If I get to a point where I'm doing arenas, or like they're inviting me to the White House because a dick joke I told changed the world, okay, I might say craft or art form. But until that point, I'm just an idiot that needs a creative outlet, and people seem to enjoy it. So that's how I look at it.
Well, that's I guess probably a grounding perspective to have. What about you, Dave? Do you think it's an art or a craft, or are you just up there like with the same attitude that Jeremy has? So it's
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. I think there is like, um, depending on maybe how long you've been doing it, and yeah, I mean, I don't think of it as like high art, but it's definitely a craft to it, especially if you're getting really good at it and crafting jokes. Because I mean, yeah, you have your basic dick jokes, but then too, if you can craft something that's just different, it takes work to do. I mean, there's all different levels. I mean, even in the art world, you got your people that are like, all right, we're just getting by, and then there's other people that can create something that's like, oh, I had no idea you would even have that perspective, or even to take that angle on it and look at it that way.
That's interesting because, and not to be too much of a downer here. Yesterday I was talking about a friend of mine who just killed himself, but and I don't want to dwell on this point. But part of why I think the depression that was feeding him was based off this idea that he didn't want to be in show business. He wanted to be an artist. He wanted to be seen as an artist and taken seriously as an artist. And I was thinking about, people don't, artists starve. Show business people make money. Art, most people who are true artists and just live by trying to be an artist, be like highbrow, they struggle financially. It's the culture isn't interested in spending money on true art. That's my takeaway on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, go ahead, Master Ron. I suppose I did. Forgive me for interrupting you. I'm sorry. Don't be mad, boss. Don't be mad.
Yeah, I mean, there is some. It's yeah. I mean, when you get into this, it's not like you can say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to make a lot of money."
Right.
That doesn't really happen. I mean, for anybody, even if you choose music or you choose comedy or whatever, it's not like. I mean, you can have dreams of doing well, but I think really any type of artist, you got to be somewhat grounded enough to know it's like I may never make money at this. I might have a couple opportunities and things like that, but I don't think everyone thinks, "Oh, I'm gonna make a buttload of cash." I
A
think for
buttload.
most of us, we would probably like just to be able to get by and make a living doing it. But even that it's not easy because
Yeah.
Right.
the
I think
whole
my
system is
my
fucked
wife
up.
says to me, all the time, I think that she would much rather that I had the perspective of, doing enough for us to make a decent living. But as Matt and GD know, I'm a sucker for wanting to hit that home run ball. You know what I mean? Like that's like and I get that, and I think I definitely for myself I need to move more into what's going to get me paid regularly. but at the same time, like I can't, like, for me, like, if I didn't have that dream that it could pop off, like, I don't know if I keep doing it. You know what I mean? I really don't.
Yeah.
So I also I feel like I undercut myself to put it super simplistically. There's absolutely a craft, and I'm not. And you kind of mentioned how long you've been in it and how you view things. I know that I go back and refine my jokes. I want to find a way to make it better or make it smarter or make it more unique, because there's a lot of times you'll go to a club and you're like, man, I feel like I've heard not this exact joke, but something extremely similar over and over and over. And I don't want to do that. So you do try to come up with unique ideas, and then you do it at a bunch of mics to try and get it perfect. And then you try it at a show and you're like, it's still not perfect. So you try it differently at the 9:30 show, and you do that and over and over and over. And yeah, anybody that gets into stand-up because they want to be rich and famous is going to be sorely mistaken and will soon quit. But if I think, a lot of folks would love to just do this full time. And there's a big Kevin Hart and somebody who just gets to do this every single day, big difference. But if you can do it every single day and pay your bills, I feel like for most folks doing comedy, that's the dream. It's just to even get to that point, it's a long, tough road.
Speaking of paying the bills, I realized that I have not paid the bills yet here today. Jeremy, can you stick with us a while, or you need to go?
I've actually got to drop because unfortunately I also have to pay bills and go to the day job while not living the dream.
Well, I appreciate you getting up early and being with us here today. Thank you for coming. Sunday night at LOL in San Antonio, Texas. Take your truck convoy and get down there, fill up the parking lot and fill up the room. Thanks for being here, and please do come back sometime.
Thanks for having me.
Right.
Nice.
Next time we'll do it without GD.
Because I'm gonna do this for 27 more days.
I'm gonna be very kind to Jeremy and let him escape you. Thank you, Jeremy. Bye for now. I gotta pay some bills. I'm gonna
leap year, buddy. So there's 28 more days.
I'm gonna pay a couple of bills. I'm gonna pay one for Willie. All the money from if you patronize Luminar Neo goes to a Lord and His Lady. We're gonna play that one first, and then we'll be segueing into a commercial to pay the bills for this crappy little program that we have going on here. And then we got Dave Attell, who is now in a Coen Brothers movies, playing a character named Ron Kane. We have him for the rest of the hour, hopefully. Anyway,
I have something special for you, a show promotion for these fellows.
All right. Well, we have to play a commercial.
Yeah, after the commercial.
Roy, flashlight.
I'm away. I'm okay.
I'll fix it. With a precise depth map, I can relight my photo naturally in 3D space. Luminar lets me bring my boldest ideas to life. And enjoy them. Luminar Neo. Create more.
What the hell's going on there? Don't touch any buttons, you bastard. Don't touch that red. Don't touch that dial. Don't touch that red button. Oh my God. Red button.
I love that commercial.
I'm gonna say that I enjoy Jeremy Brown a lot, but I'm gonna say that I think he was lying to us. I don't really think he had to pay the bills. I think he was just dying to get away from GD's.
He's probably not coming back.
GD shtick this morning, which I take full responsibility for initiating, and I'm sorry about that. But now
I got 20 more days to do this. 20 more days.
Oh, you mean yeah, maybe. Anyway,
the weekends?
now we can devote all our attention to the brilliant Dave Attell, who is starring in a new movie called Cain and Abel by the Coen brothers, where he plays a character named Ron Cain, who is I guess a stand-up comedian who has a twin brother named Abel, and I don't know really how it goes, but I think he ends up killing. Dave, it's a pleasure to have you here.
As a comedian would want to do, a comedian will want to kill, and that makes sense.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, he murders it. So.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I have a promo.
Show promo. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. In the comedy world, not everything is black and white. Sometimes jokes slip into the gray area. How then do you find the funny? Join forensic humorist G.D. Fenderson and his partner Dave Attell as Ron Cain as they find their way out of the doghouse. Wow. The Comedy Doghouse Open Mic is at the West York Inn in West York, Pennsylvania, Tuesdays. Sign up is at 7:30 with the show promptly at 8.
Wow, very good. I guess you've just crafted that today. It just seems a little bit like a Naked Wines commercial. Make it a little shorter. A little shorter.
And we do start at 8:00. I'm a Nazi about starting on time. You can ask GD about that.
Let's get this straight. Who's funnier, you or GD?
Oh, it's me. I'm the guest here.
All
today, right?
Oh, God, there you go. That's good. So yeah, no, Pennsylvania. Somebody there's somebody mentioned a new club I haven't heard of. Now I'm having a dementia moment here. Scranton. How far are you from Scranton?
Probably like 2 hours, maybe 2.5.
Oh, you might as well be in New York then.
Yeah.
You think of Pennsylvania is a big state. Driving across the state could take forever.
Yeah.
So but somebody was mentioning I guess comedy theater. I don't know. Near Scranton.
That's why we don't have any Amish comics. It takes too long. If you got the car and it takes 3 hours to drive across the state, if you're an Amish comic, you have to leave last Friday for a show next year.
Now, I have a serious question for you with this thing that you're doing here.
Okay.
For me, if I were doing what you were doing right now, I would not be able to stop when the show ends today, and I would be going like. Listen, boss, can I get $40 on take number 2?
You think he doesn't talk like that to white people in the grocery store? Get the fuck out of here! Of course he does.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania is a bigger place than I imagine. So the area that you perform in, do you kind of keep it local? Or I know you went to Texas last summer, but do you basically stay local with what you're doing now? I mean, Dave.
No, I try and get out anywhere I can. I've performed far west as Vegas. And like Austin, did San Antonio, and because now I am gainfully unemployed now from my job, since my job was thank you. My job was outsourced, and it was sent to Mexico. And like I like to joke about, I'm not sure if I should build a wall or not of emotional pain, but
I'm coming back. I just hear Goldthwait in my head. I lost my job. Well, I didn't lose it. I know where it is. It's just I go there and so there's some other guys doing it. But now it's a computer doing it, like, right? Or it's just our job was really lost to a person, or was it lost to a machine?
It was lost to 2 people actually, and
Oh, two
it
people doing
me
the
Well,
work.
that's got to feel good. That's got to
yeah.
feel good. It took 2 people to replace you.
Well, there was another guy at the place I worked. He lost his job because of this as well. Uh, so we're kind of in the same boat, and like the best thing about it is I have a severance, so that's the best thing about it.
So let's get clear here. For me, I should get clear on exactly how this works, because when I was doing road stuff when I was young, I was actually going out and just like, and there was no internet when I was doing this. Was actually going through yellow pages, finding clubs in areas, calling up the managers and trying to book myself, sending them press kits via the mail. Now this is old school, but I'm thinking a lot of comics who want to set out and go and spread out and do, work different areas, they're doing the same thing, just using the internet and email and all that kind of stuff directly, rather than hooking up with an agency or something like that that can book mini tours. How are you finding work in like Austin and Las Vegas and all that stuff? Is it you're doing the dirty work yourself, getting your hands dirty and calling these people?
Yeah, it's because I'm essentially an independent contractor,
Right.
and so I'm like this Saturday I leave. I'm gonna go on like I guess tour or whatever in Florida. I'm gonna be in Florida for a month, and I have 7 shows lined up down in Florida already, and all that was it's almost like investigative work because you got to go and find the shows that then to find the show producers and just kind of keep digging down from there and
Do you
see.
do you do what I do, or I used to do? Was lie about who I was when you're contacting them. In other words, I was Max Napstein, the manager. I gave myself a Jewish name so I could be the manager of my client, which was me, and contact people as Matt. And so when we were talking business, I was Max Napstein. First of all, to give them the Jewish perspective that they couldn't beat me in I was on fair ground, level ground with them in dealing with business. That whole part of it. Do you do any of that kind of, or you tell, this is Ron Kane, I'm trying to book myself, which is, and then you have to sell yourself. Whereas Matt Napstein, I could build up Matt Napa all I want. I could say how great he was without really even feeling self-conscious about it at all.
Uh, yeah, sometimes I mean when I was doing this stuff in Florida, this is all it was just, me, Ron King, just reaching out to him. I do have an LLC that that I'm actually starting to use now, and it's under Two Canes Productions. And then under that, I have another comic that I help with booking and like some management stuff. And so when I do stuff for him, it's all under Two Canes at that
Oh,
point.
very, very good. Yeah, because but are there not agency? I think there have to be. Now, I don't know if GD, and I don't even really want to hear from him in that voice. But I did give him the number or contact of a agent who does music stuff, and I had reached out and said, "Oh, do you do comedy stuff?" And he said he hasn't really, but he would always be, open to that. But agencies who do this, like book comics on mini, there has to be not like having a manager do it, but agencies like booking agencies. Yes
Yeah,
or no?
they're out there. I've seen like a few independent ones here and there, but at the same time, I mean, if that agent really doesn't have any experience or like any connections at all, well, why are you going to pay them when you can essentially just do it yourself? Really? Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but what
What?
I mean, if you don't do it yourself, like it can be very beneficial because, like, I know for me, like the reason I don't necessarily like booking myself or whatever is I don't want to be the person because the no's are going to come. No's are a part of the booking process, right? And I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? I start questioning all these different reasons of, well, why did they say no? What do I got to do different? And because I don't want to get wrapped up in my head and my bullshit about that stuff, I'd much rather have somebody else booking my shit for me.
That's one part of it, and there's two other parts that play into it. Is that negotiations? These guys who have had experience at least negotiating for bands and stuff, they ask for more money than I would ever fucking have the balls to ask for, and they get it. And so there's that, and then the ability to actually concentrate on what you do. You can concentrate on your comedy, concentrate on your music, whatever it is. But concentrate on that rather than spending all your time like where the opportunities going on the internet, doing the research, making the first contacts, going through all that shit, follow-up calls, all that stuff. It's all time consuming. It takes away from your time and energy towards your craft. So that.
I'd much rather give somebody
I got some things. I got some field work to do.
I don't have to deal with that shit.
What was that, Tim?
I said, I've got the field work to do. I can't be making the calls to try to find more work. I can't do all the work I got to do now that I'm not getting paid for.
Now, how long before those bulbs you planted come to fruition? Are we getting close? Or no, like a month away?
Those bulbs will bloom before my comedy career. That's for damn sure. I think they probably do in a couple. I think they're going to come up in a couple of weeks. But Lord, I don't know, boss. I'll take the camera out real good and show you real good once they come up, but real good.
Was it cotton that you were planting?
They was I did plant the cotton, but I'm not sure if they're gonna grow cotton. I think once they come up, they may be denim, they may be polyester. I was trying to plant polyester.
Probably nylon.
Well, it wasn't nylon season. Don't you know nothing about planting? No, they know nylon season.
What's the way you talking to me, boy?
It's all boss. You're right. You're right.
I just wanted to say it's been really nice being a part of Coffee with the Dog. I'm so glad to be on it while it was here. I'm really glad we started a new podcast, so I have something else to be on when this is canceled.
Yeah, look, this is better. See, this is. I think Jeremy Brown might appreciate it. Now he was talking about corporate stuff. I did a corporate gig on Sunday, and it didn't suck. But generally, it feels like I'm just in it for the money when I'm doing corporate work. It feels like very unfulfilling, and like the crowd is not. They're being forced. It's not like they wanted entertainment there. They're being forced to take part in a corporate event, and you happen to be the entertainment that was booked for it. So they're almost like being held hostage and forced to endure your act. So but Sunday was a really a gratifying thing, and the crowd was with me. Great audience, and but it's almost sometimes it just feels like them doing it for the money. And this is for everybody, but we'll start with Ron. Does that appeal to you, just doing it for the money? A big payday, 10 times, 20 times what you're going to get paid in a comedy club. But you're doing it for people really don't fucking care. They're not there to see Ron Kane. They're not there to see comedy. They're there because the boss told them to be there. Does that appeal to you?
I wouldn't say like that's something that would appeal to me, but I probably wouldn't turn it down because I mean, if the money is good,
it's great.
Yeah, so
it's not good. It's great.
Yeah, the money's great. So I mean, just as a performer, you might know that too. Like going in, it's like, well, they might not be the best audience, but too, I mean, you can always. I feel like you got to make the best of it because really, the definition. I mean, as comics, we get so sometimes in our head like, oh, I'm too good for this gig, or like, oh, I can't believe this audience did this. But really, I mean, a real comedian should be able to walk into any room and make strangers laugh.
Yeah, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. Listen, when the lights are as bright as can be and you're in a corporate boardroom and they're sitting on metal folding chairs like they do, and there's a keynote speaker that comes on before you, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, and they're at their job they're supposed to be off today. That's a really difficult situation to make people want to feel entertained. Like all they're thinking about is how long till this shit is over.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to have some of those people, but then there are going to be people that are in the crowd that are generally interested in what you're saying. So, I mean, you have to find them. I mean, this last fall, I did a show at a retirement home, and that was that was an interesting gig. I mean, I had to work clean, and there was someone in the back who actually fell asleep. This guy, he was probably 80 something, and we could hear him snoring, and it was great. I addressed that, and this lady on the other side of the room, she just goes, he always does this.
Now, I'm gonna tell. I had a job like that, both at the retirement community, and They told me I had to work clean, and I don't think that's fair. That I can't say nigger, but they the ones who invented the fucking word, and they get to say it. They go back to their, but I can't say it to them, and they yelling at me all the time. I'm sorry. There's an M in my eye. I got that. There's that. There we go. That M
Get that M out. It's on the wrong side. You're not even doing the right side.
No, the M. Oh, the M was in my eye. Yeah,
you don't even know what eye hurts.
Well, it's called referred pain. It's called referred pain. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to correct you, but a doctor knows about referred pain. It's where it happens in one place and you feel it in another. But the M was hurting my eye. I got to. Can't you move that? I'm sorry, boss. You put it in a good spot. It's my fault.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I can't. I can't even move that M. Right. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. One second. We can get the M.
It's okay, boss. You busy. You're a busy man. You got to.
There you go. I took the M out of your eye. I removed the speck from your own eye.
Whoa! Why'd you put it there, boss? That hurt too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Put it back in my eye. Put it back in my eye, please. So, Master Ron, tell us about the Florida gig. You be going to Florida to buy some Negro comics, I understand. So tell us about that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna be doing all sorts of shows down there. I'm excited. A comic I know in Philly by Top Flight. He's got a gig in Jacksonville that I was able to get on. And my first official show in Florida is in this city or town called Omars, Florida. It's just north of Tampa. But those are they're great. It looks like they're going to be great shows because they're like Southern Black rooms, and I haven't did one of those rooms yet. I'm excited to.
Now, what makes it a Southern Black room? I mean,
you don't talk like this, boss.
That's what I mean. I mean, is the entire audience? You expect like there's going to be no white people there? It's a completely racially segregated room.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyone can go. I mean, it's not like they're keeping.
I know that
they're white,
but you're expecting the entire crowd to be black folks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be probably a couple some salts here and there, in there, but
it'll be like when I went to the taping of the Monique daytime talk show.
Well, I grew up in an area where it was like there was white people and there were black people in the town next to us. Whenever we went to the movie theater in the town next to us, and I mean, we would be like the only white kids, and it would be all black people. It'd be a totally different experience. Is the club a totally different experience with an all black audience performing?
Yeah, it's those shows are typically more fun. they're more fun because you can throw anything you want, and black people will hold you to the joke, no matter how horrible it is. They want you to be black people want you to be committed to the joke. And so at least if it's fucked up, they'll be like, all right, that's fucked up, but we're willing to laugh at it. We're willing to give you a chance. And when you get
better go all the way with this.
Yeah, and like when you get in front of like rooms that are like all white or just very whitey rooms, you say something and they'll be like, should I be laughing at this? Should I be laughing?
Well, there's degrees of all whiteness too.
And what's really funny is I've noticed, and I really like what you're bringing up here, Ron, because it's very true. I remember I used to do Crack 'em Up Thursdays in the belly room of the Comedy Store in LA, like back in the early 2000s. And one thing I could definitely say about a predominantly black crowd is if you start to like go somewhere risky and they catch you pulling back like that, there's gonna be somebody in the audience that says, nah, like fucking like keep going. Like they'll egg you on to make you like go over that, because like they want that. They want that engagement, but they don't want that to, listen, you got to be confident with your delivery. If you deliver that shit with confidence, they're going to fucking dig it. They're going to dig it hard. But if you deliver that kind of material with a timid sense about you, they're going to be mad at you. They're going to that's how you get booed off of the Apollo stage.
Yeah. It's like, it's blood in the water. Those audiences want you to be committed. It's like, all right, if you're gonna do it, be behind it 100%.
Yeah.
Now I want y'all to know that we only act like that when there's white people there. If it's all black people and there's no white people at all, we don't act like that. We only put on that show for you peoples, so that you goes out and say, I like the blacker audience. They let me talk all kinds of shit. But once you gone, you talk like this. Pardon me. Wow. So, a white man, a black man, and a Chinese man walk into a place of business.
Oh my God. Go back to the other voice. That was how did that manage to be creepier than what you were doing before? That's fucking weird.
Okay, boss, you say so.
Oh God! Don't call me. That's the boss down there. That's the boss. He's the runner of the shit show.
We got 20 more days of this shit. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master Matt.
Oh my God! If we make it that far, Matt, did you freeze? Are you okay over there? Are you? We're going
to call this the Tim Scott chat.
I was having a Mitch McConnell. I was having my Mitch McConnell moment.
Glitchy
we're going to call this the Tim Scott challenge on TikTok. See how long people can talk like this.
Now, let me just kind of switch gears here, take a tangent. Yesterday, I was doing some business, and I talked to the ad company and I told them I have a couple of comedians from around the country who want to come and see the ads in the trains. He said, are they fucking stupid? Are they crazy? Or they just don't know New York? It's like, probably all three. The way he explained it to me was the ads the posters are going to be on 5 trains, 5 out of 340 trains that run through different lines. Like I think he said 80 different lines throughout Long Island and Westchester County and up there. He said, and they're assigned to trains. I can give you the train numbers, but those trains, the conductors and the trains that are assigned to them generally aren't till that day because they don't know which trains have gone in maintenance. So you have your Montauk line, your Port Jefferson. He said the odds of them finding the train to find those posters on, they're going to have to spend all day and night writing different trains. Are they going to pay fares? Because the conductors aren't going to say, sure, come on, you can ride wherever this train is going to find a poster so you can take your picture on it. And I was like, yeah, I don't see how that's going to work either.
Are we just doing 5 on train? Is there not a rotating one on Times Square?
There are there's a television on display on Times Square. The problem with getting your picture taken with that is you probably have to have a camera person about 350 feet back to get, because it's 30 feet off the ground. So to get you in the frame, it would be so small that you can't even tell what's on TV, and it's going to go. Yeah, they have to be there. It's running once an hour for the entire month, so you have to stand there and wait, and you never know when it's going to come up. So you have to stand there for an hour with somebody standing 150 feet away to take your picture of it all day. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to go to New York and deal with all that. It seems insane. It's just to get your picture taken with an advertisement that is going to go by so fast that nobody.
Okay, so this is what I want to explain to you. At least I can't speak for GD, but at least for me. Okay, so I grew up in a town of 3,000 people. We had 2 stoplights in my town, and like for me to be involved, for me to get to a point in my life where I'm involved in anything that someone feels is valuable enough to advertise in this kind of way. This is one of the biggest things in my life, Matt. And I don't know, maybe that's something that you don't necessarily realize or whatever. But being involved with this show and having you believe in what we're doing here enough to invest in that way. Listen, nobody, 0 fucking people that I knew growing up are ever going to have their fucking face on a Times Square fucking billboard.
I get that, but let me just interrupt you.
Like,
let me just hold up. Let me just make the point that he was making. He said, there's a live 24/7 stream, so when it's up, you can just show that and share that with your entire network, and they will be able to sit there and watch it.
But it's not my own. For me, I got to see it with my eyes. You know what I mean? I got to see that with my own 2 eyes. It's like, you ever see? Have you ever seen the movie Rudy? You remember the movie Rudy?
Yes.
With Sean Austin about Northern. Okay, the part where
is that the one about the specials?
It's about Rudy Giuliani. It's about Rudy Giuliani hanging out with the Long Island serial killer at sex parties.
It probably is about that. But anyway, in that movie, when the dad comes into Notre Dame Stadium for the first time, like the dad talks about it being like the most beautiful thing his eyes have ever seen. You know what I mean? And like to me, dude, like seeing that with my own 2 eyes, and my wife too. Like Danica feels the same way. Like the joy that will touch our hearts when we see that with our own eyes. Like you can't pay for that. There's no amount of money that covers that. Period.
Wow. Ron, you got any take on this? Like, on this whole situation, would it be worth it to come to New York to see your face on a poster or a digital ad that's going to last? I think it's a minute. It might be 30 seconds.
I would probably say no, because with GD's terrible impression, he probably just ruined everything for you anyway.
Yeah, bro. There's no reason for these ads anymore.
Yeah, I actually have not seen the posters yet. They're supposed to send me the posters Friday. You would think I would have gotten them before to approve or disapprove of them, but I will see the posters on Friday and get an idea of what they actually look like. But we'll see how it goes. You know what? I understand it. It's but the idea of being excited about it. I'm not, and you know what? I feel like I made a mistake with the whole fucking thing. It's like, you know what? This isn't really going to bring you one more viewer. I can't imagine somebody, on the train. Huh? How could I think that? Because I would not. If I saw first of all, I don't think the digital ad is going to do anything. The thing on the trains, absolutely. Because if you're sitting there and this poster's in front of you and you got 2-hour ride from Montauk into Penn Station, and the thing's in front of you, and it's got the address on it or something you could scan and go immediately to it and enjoy it on Wi-Fi. Why not take a chance? Oh yeah, that looks like something I'm interested in. But I can't imagine. You know what Manhattan is like? Nobody is actually paying attention to these fucking signs. They're all walking like, I hope I don't get fucking bang into a fucking crazy homeless person, or I just want to get where I'm going. I want to get out of the cold. It's everybody is got a destination in mind, and nobody is looking around to smell the roses, and nobody's looking at with lights flashing everywhere. Nobody's looking at that stuff, right?
Well, the boss, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I never blow the smoke up your ass because it gives you the anal cancer. So I'm gonna tell you the truth, boss. I I do think it's a mistake, but it's your mistake to make, so not mine. And so since you're making a mistake, I just want to take a picture with it. That's all. But
No,
I understand your point. So, but
I want to take a picture with your mistake. You know, like people do with babies.
Yeah.
yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Willie. I couldn't have said that better myself. And you having 7 babies, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I do.
Well,
see that Master Rome? Willie's got 7 babies and 1 testicle. That's like the ratio. Right. The testicle to baby ratio is just outrageous.
So if he had 2, he'd have 14 kids.
Bro.
What?
And probably about
you
16
saying
women.
That just gave me fucking heartburn. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Right. So now, because I did want to just get that out there. But you know what? You guys are free to do whatever you want. I'll let you. I will have more information on Friday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. About where things are going to be and all that kind of stuff. The train stuff seems like it's like a shot in the dark. You could probably come here for 2 weeks and ride the trains all day and night and struggle to find them. But according to them, I just want to share this demographic. According to them, they said in the month at least 4 million people will have seen the post. That's a lot of people.
That's fucking dope as fuck.
That's exposure. Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's more people that was in whole slavery the whole time that they was in slavery. Isn't that?
But the whole hang on a second. GD, are you really gonna do this voice the whole time? Because I'm thinking that maybe if we're trying to get more people to watch the show, perhaps we shouldn't have
no. Don't get me wrong. I could do this all month, but I'm not. Tomorrow I'm doing Kingfisher. Tomorrow I'm doing Amos and Andy. Today I'm doing the Step and Fetch, and tomorrow I do the Amos and Andy.
Jimmy Walker at any point? I would love it if you were Jimmy Walker one day, where you just
I want to address it.
You say Dynamite.
I want to address this point by Evil Ian. Yeah, he said that's like my dumb tweets getting 10,000 impressions with 12 likes. Listen, 12 likes would be like a major accomplishment for me on Twitter, or sometimes even on Facebook or Instagram. 12 likes. People, I get those kind of impressions too. People see this stuff and they don't. So yeah, I would be grateful for 12 likes. If you get 12 likes on even 10,000 impressions, you're a major success in the Twitter world. Anyway. So yeah, now Ron, let's go back to you in this Florida thing. Are you the clubs that you're booked at, are they responsible for the promotion and all that stuff? Because one of the biggest things that we've faced here forever is the idea that club owners expect you to do all the promotion. They don't really want to lift a finger advertising or any of that kind of stuff. It's all on you. Now, Governors, who we have to say goodbye to right now, is very good with advertising for their comics and the people that come there. But I know a lot of clubs who don't. They leave it. They do a little social media sharing and all that kind of stuff, but no advertising. Are you responsible?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you are.